have on the phone Rob from Body and Soul. Hey there!
Hello everybody, nice to be on the show, thank you for having me.
Thank you, it's a pleasure. Finally we can speak about your new album Rebirth, which is out on Mainframe Records on the 28th of April. Finally your amazing album, which really feels like a full concept album. So tell us a bit about the genesis of the album. How long has it been in the making for it? How has the ripening gone?
Well, it was actually a little more than a year ago when we really started to work on the album. And the thing was, we didn't actually really plan to do an album, nor did we have the label in the back pestering us to do an album or something.
Mm-hmm.
But actually it was before we did a lot of stuff that was not, before that we did a lot of stuff that wasn't drum and bass, so probably this distance to drum and bass really gave us new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
From the time we started working on tracks, suddenly it just happened, and yeah.
I see.
And really quickly we had a handful of tracks, and yeah, it really happened seamlessly, to be honest.
Smoothly and seamlessly. What have you learned in this process of making an actual album?
What we really learned was the thing is, as a drum and bass producer, you usually aim to do the next 1 o'clock in the morning anthem and the tune that gets all the rewinds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we're into producing drum and bass for quite a while now, and over time this idea or this goal really can get into your head and with your creativity. But that was kind of a mountain we had to get over, and we just, as we went along, we didn't set ourselves this kind of goal, and things started to happen again. And yeah, I think what we learned in this process is sometimes it's really good, when making music or probably for any creative process, is not to aim for a certain goal or something, just let it flow, and things and ideas will come to you more easily, I guess. That's what we learned.
I see. And in fact, I think one of the strengths of the album is its versatility, which has also been shown by the singles that preceded the album. Would you agree?
Certainly, and actually, it kind of makes me really happy if this comes through. We wanted to do, because there's so many styles of drum and bass nowadays that are really interesting, and we tried to draw a lot of inspiration from different sub-genres of drum and bass. Didn't just wanted to do that Eurofunk album or a jump up album. And as I said, we didn't really have that much of a goal. It just happened that it is kind of a versatile album.
And how would you want the audience to receive it, to walk away with after listening to the album?
Well, I mean, some of this, obviously is straight dance floor stuff, and of course, we're very pleased when, people tell us that, the stuff is being played out on parties, and I mean, that's a kind of one of the main purposes of drum and bass. I guess we would all agree on that, but on the album there's also some more experimental stuff and some unusual stuff. For example, the title track of the album, Rebirth, is it's not what you would usually hear on a rave party at 1 o'clock, so it's rather a track to listen to when you're riding the train or walking around with your iPods in your ears. So yeah, we would like to cater to both worlds with this album, and yeah, that would be best.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you succeeded very well. And well, you're a major part of the Austrian scene, which is very, very live and kicking. So how are things over at Mainframe headquarters?
Well, yeah, luckily, I think, especially if you look at the size of the country, Austria has one of the best scenes in the world. Probably.
Definitely, yeah.
But not only the party scene with weekly events held at an exceptionally high quality level, as most people know, there's loads of Austrian producers Camo and Crooked or DK back in the days, or Matthews nowadays, who are really doing well on the international scene. And yes, I'm really happy to be part of this since the very beginning.
Well, now studio time. Would you like to introduce us to your studio gear?
Well, I mean, the heart of the studio, like nowadays, is probably the DAW. Like we use Cubase ever since, and I think the most important thing in the studio also is like the monitoring. So, like just recently, 2 years ago, we got some new K and H 0300D monitors, which are like really the heart of the studio. Like you really have to hear what you're doing, and besides that, there's nothing so much special. Like we use the native instrument stuff, of course. We've got the TC power core, and yeah, we try to use, like, the thing is, it's sometimes it's even better to use a smaller amount of plugins, but know your plugins really well. So,
Definitely, yeah.
That's what we do mostly, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So what's ahead for Body and Soul now?
Yes, well, we haven't been in the studio a lot, like, because there was a lot of touring with the album and a lot of, like, work just, like, to get the album out, like, press and promotion and that kind of stuff. But now, like, we've just finished the remix for an Austrian production outfit that's called Naked Fish, like, it's called Better Days, and that remix, I think it will be released pretty soon on Mainframe Recordings as well. And yeah, but we really want to get into the studio, like when the album is through now, like in the summertime, and maybe get some new ideas and put an EP together. But like, there's nothing really that I could speak of today. So yeah. Yeah,
nothing planned, but a lot of ideas, a lot of creative spins in your mind. Excellent, wonderful. Okay, Rob, so thank you very much. And now introduce your guest mix here for Bass Island Radio.
Well, thank you for having us on the show. And yes, you will hear a mix by ourselves, like which consists mostly of album tracks, but we threw in like a couple of other tracks, friends of ours, that we think is really good. So yeah, check it out.